This completely changes how we view the Rangers. Signing Gavrikov and surrounding him with more talent was crucial. However, things get real interesting next offseason, and fans are starting to get giddy about it. With Panarin's future still unclear, can two new stars be making their Broadway debut? I break it down here in just a moment on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for Blue Shirt fandom, and I am your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this glorious Sunday, the 20th of July, and it is that point of the offseason, guys, where we're going to start fantasizing on this Sunday fun day. But before we get into the video, a quick reminder that about 77% of you that are currently watching these amazing videos are currently unsubscribed. So what are you guys doing? Please hit that free subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Also, so you could be part of something special here at Rangers Digest. Let's get right into the video, guys. I was reading an article from foreverblueshirts.com, and I came across them talking about the Rangers preparing for next offseason. While they've made many moves, you'd be foolish not to understand what's at stake, the free agents that will be available next offseason. Players who can become unrestricted free agents next summer become eligible to sign contract extensions on July 1st, which has passed, folks. But lost in the shuffle over this year's UFA signings is the fact that the big names who can opt to re-up with their current team or opt for a new employer after the 2025-2026 season haven't exactly rushed to make a decision, nor have their teams. In fact, 3 of the 7 players with the highest AAV contracts in 25-26 can become UFAs next July 1st. One of the 3 is Artemi Panarin, who has led the New York Rangers in scoring each of his 6 seasons since signing a 7-year contract with an AAV of nearly $12 million with the Blue Shirts on July 1st, 2019. Guys, in case you forgot, when he chose the Rangers over the Islanders. Panarin turns 34 on October 30th, and Rangers general manager Chris Drury has made no move to sign him this summer. Keep in mind, guys, that at the start of next year and that contract, if the Rangers were to extend him, he would turn 35 years old, so another year older. And something to keep in mind, guys, is that Larry Brooks, along with others, have floated out the idea that Panarin's going to be looking for 3 to 4 years for an average annual value of still in that double-digit range. So we have to keep that in mind, folks. Moving along, Connor McDavid has made it clear after the Oilers came up short twice in the final that his objective is to win the Stanley Cup. Nothing else matters, guys. That could be a problem. Edmonton has made no move to improve its goaltending duo after Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard were no match for Florida's Sergei Bobrovsky in the final. They've already changed goalie coaches but have not made personnel moves, meaning they're likely to begin the season with the same twosome. Something to keep in mind, guys, is obviously the Rangers have a goaltender that I'm sure Connor McDavid would love to play with in Igor Shesterkin, still in his prime, not too far removed from that 2021-2022 Vezina Trophy. And guys, something we can't forget, just a season ago when the Rangers were 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup final, weren't able to get past Florida, the beast of the East, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. What we have to keep in mind is Igor, while he was 2-4 against the Panthers and is 2-4 in his career against the Panthers in the playoffs, he had a save percentage of .930 and a goals against average of 2.25. Nothing short of sensational, guys. And we also have to keep in mind that just this past season, a Hall of Fame goaltender in Andrei Vasilevsky, who the Rangers have had problems with in the past, obviously, was atrocious, losing in 5 games against the Panthers. Vasilevsky really struggled, but Igor has done a nice job despite losing that series. I mean, besides Igor and Lafreniere during that Eastern Conference final, you know, the Rangers had nothing going for them, probably would have got swept if it wasn't for those two. So just keep that in mind, guys, that the Rangers have a goaltender in place who has had success against Florida. Moving along, Another player we have to keep an eye on, guys. If the Rangers think Panarin is too old and they can't/won't go after Kirill Kaprizov, they might decide to make a push for Kyle Connor. A big reason Winnipeg won the President's Trophy last season. Since 2019-20, Connor leads the Jets in goals, points, and game-winning goals. He's coming off a 41-goal, 97-point season. His assist total and points were career highs. Guys, we have to keep in mind that when Artemi Panarin got here in 2019-2020, he's led the Rangers in points every single season, and the same goes for Kyle Connor. Since 2019-2020, as you can see, he leads the Jets in points. This is essentially both Kirill Kaprizov and Kyle Connor, two younger versions of Artemi Panarin, because both are 28 years old and both play the same position and both could score the puck at an extremely high clip. We're going to break down Kaprizov and Connor. Obviously, we don't need to break down Connor McDavid any further. He is the premier free agent heading into next offseason, looking for a huge payday, going to break records. But luckily for the Rangers, they'll have over $30 million to play with, giving them enough room to sign two-star free agents. You can sign Connor McDavid to $15 million AAV plus and bring in another star, because the Rangers, unlike this offseason, most of their roster spots will be solidified next offseason. They won't have to make as many moves, and the Rangers can still look to, make some trades and maneuver some cap space to open things up and give themselves more flexibility next offseason. But nevertheless, even if they did not do that, they'd still have a ton of money to play with, guys. Now, when it comes to Kaprizov, the guy is simply sensational. We can't deny that. But he is expected to re-sign in Minnesota. We've seen reports about that. We haven't heard as much when it comes to Kyle Connor. But like I said, things have been quiet with McDavid. Things have been quiet with Kyle Connor. We've heard the rumblings that Kaprizov is expected to return to the Minnesota Wild. But now it's time to break down both players. Starting off with Kirill Kaprizov, standing 5'10", 28 years old, played just 41 games this past season, half a year, put up 56 points. I mean, this guy was on an unbelievable pace in terms of points. He was going to be one of the leading scorers this year if he were to stay healthy. As you can see, just playing half the season. We could break him down, but we all know he's an elite goal scorer. We know he's a consistent 40-plus goal scorer. The problem with Kaprizov, guys, is his durability. He hasn't been very durable here in his career. I love watching the guy play, and it's really sad that he just hasn't been able to stay on the ice as much as you'd like him to. But like I said, he's expected to stay in Minnesota. I prefer a guy that's going to play every night, that's going to suit up every night. And when it comes to Kaprizov, I mean, the pop and sizzle is off the charts. Obviously a power play weapon as well. The speed we know about. But you need to stay on the ice. Durability is extremely important, especially in the National Hockey League and the postseason. It's a grueling sport, guys, and we need our star players to be available. Kaprizov, unfortunately, while I love watching him play, he's a treat to watch, just hasn't been able to stay on the ice. He's had multiple upper body injuries, lower body injuries as well. He had that lower body surgery this past season, which kept him out a long duration. So let's move along to Kyle Connor. Here it is, guys. 6'1", 28 years old as well. Plays the same position as Panarin, as does Kaprizov on that left wing. Played, unlike Kaprizov, a full 82-game slate. 97 points. He was a plus 17, over 20 minutes of ice time per night. And like Kaprizov, an elite goal scorer himself. I mean, the guy is simply an electric sniper. Multiple 30 and 40 goal seasons. I mean, he is such a weapon on the power play as well. And if we talk about a McDavid and Kyle Connor duo on that first line for the Rangers, both are 28 years old. Both would set the Rangers up for success for the next 7 to 10 years, guys. If you pair McDavid and Connor at 28 years old on that first line with Igor Shesterkin, with Mike Sullivan, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I mean, the sky is simply the limit. On the power play, Connor is awesome, guys. There's no other way to put it. You could put him on that bumper spot, on the weak side, with McDavid, his playmaking potential, Connor's finishing ability. And let's not forget, guys, we all understand that Connor McDavid is the fastest, best skater in the NHL. We all know that. There is not many skaters that can keep up with him. Kaprizov is one of them. Kyle Connor is also one of them. But like I said, the big separating factor here between Kaprizov and Connor, besides the fact that Kaprizov is likely to stay in Minnesota, the reports have said that, is they can both keep up with Connor McDavid. You don't want a left wing that's a step slow. Obviously, Panarin has great speed, but he's getting older, maybe a step slow if you were to re-sign him and bring in McDavid. I just like the idea of Kyle Connor and McDavid on the same team. I mean, both 28 years old. They'd complement each other so nicely, guys. It's like a dream. It'd be like I'd have to pinch myself every time watching it. You know, they have defensive issues, obviously, and they have some shortcomings there. You'd have to put a good defender on the right wing, obviously. But, man, if Connor McDavid is looking to have his Mark Messier moment, follow in his footsteps. You know, the last time the Rangers won a cup was when Messier led them in 1994. Obviously, Gretzky joined Messier to reunite for that 96-97 season. But, man, I really want Connor McDavid to have his Messier moment. And it is certainly possible, guys. I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments down below. It's a Sunday fun day, guys. Like I said, I'm reading some articles that, you know, lots of teams are preparing for next offseason, and the Rangers are certainly one of them. Make sure you give us a follow on X at Rangers Digest YT as well, because the conversation continues over there as always, and they also continue in the comment section. One last reminder that if you haven't hit that free subscribe button, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. We will see you tomorrow to start the new week. Take care.